Academic Encounters, Chapter 1, Reading 2, A Balance of Power. The First Settlers. The men who met to write the United States Constitution had a difficult task. They wanted a strong leader. However, they also wanted a representative government. They wanted judges who would be independent of politicians. They did not want a part of the government to have too much power. Therefore, they divided power among three branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial. The three branches of government. Although people often think of the president as the center of government, the Constitution lists the legislative branch first. The legislative branch is called Congress. It has two parts, the Senate and the House of Representatives. The Senate has 100 members, 2 from each of the country's 50 states. The House of Representatives has more, 435. The number of members from each state in the House of Representatives depends on the state's populations. The Constitution names just 2 people in the executive branch, the President and the Vice President. In the judicial branch, the Constitution establishes the Supreme Court, which is the highest court, and gives Congress the power to create other courts. Balancing power among the branches. The Constitution gives each branch ways to limit the power of the other 2 branches. For example, the President can veto or block laws passed by the legislative branch, Congress. However, if 2/3 of the members in both the Senate and the House of Representatives disagree, they can override, that is, reject the president's veto. Congress can even vote to remove the president from office if the president does something illegal. Neither of these things happens very often. Finally, the Supreme Court can reject both the laws passed by Congress and the actions of the president. If the judges think that the laws and actions are unconstitutional, that is, not permitted by the Constitution, Figure 1.1 in your textbook shows the relationship among the branches of government. The election of the president. Electing a national leader is an important process. Only a small part of this process is described in the U.S. Constitution. Other details have developed over the past 225 years. The Constitution specifies that the president must be at least 35 years old and must be born in the United States. It also states that the president serves a 4-year term and then can run for re-election. Starting in 1951, there has been a limit of 2 terms. Although the Constitution does not establish political parties, there have been 2 strong parties in the United States throughout most of its history. This 2-party system also helps maintain another kind of balance of power. And on this page in your textbook, you will see the powers of the president and the powers of Congress and the powers of the Supreme Court. You can read those carefully. And finally, a federalist system. The U.S. Constitution establishes a government based on federalism, that is, a balance of power between the federal or central government, and the state government. The federal government is responsible for issues that affect U.S. citizens as a nation. The state government are responsible for issues that relate to the states. In addition, some powers, such as building roads and paying for public education, are shared by both state and federal governments. Each state also has a leader called the governor who, like the president of the country, is elected by the people. In addition, both governments share certain powers.